Hello, everyone. We welcome you again to another episode of The Ambassadors on Dove Television. My name is Mike Adekunle. On The Ambassadors today, we want to look at a subject that we feel is very, very important to us all, especially Nigerians across the globe, outside Nigeria, because there is this phenomenon that is going around. And this is perhaps because of the issues around the country, Nigeria. People are bound to travel, and people travel for a whole lot of reasons. In my elementary studies of science, we know that animals, they travel, they move around, the movement, when we talk about the characteristics of living things, movement is part of the characteristics of living things. So every living thing must move. And there are several reasons why a living thing must move. A living thing that is actually living should be able to move away from danger, should be able to move in search of food, should be able to move even for reproductive purposes. And of course, as talking to a human being right now, human beings also are not bound to remain in a place. Human beings have legitimate obligation to also move in search of greener pasture. And it has become a phenomenon in Nigeria, or a syndrome, where our young folks call it japa. Everybody wants to travel. Everybody is looking for a greener pasture. Everybody is looking for where the ground is level. Everybody is looking for where opportunities and resources are available to thrive. Everybody is looking for where it can make, ends meet. And everybody seeks for where it can get comfort and security. We are praying in Nigeria that by the grace of God, God will return the glory of this nation. Because in years past, times immemorial, we have seen that Nigeria has been a place of comfort, of opportunities, of resources, of security over the years. And one way or the other, we got it wrong along the way. And we are where we are today. And our children, our brothers, our sisters, our fathers are leaving the country seeking for greener pastures. We have several of Nigerians across the globe. How are they faring? What is their responsibility to their country, Nigeria, even for the fact that they are outside Nigeria? How are they faring in different countries where they are today seeking greener pastures? These are many more we are going to be discussing under the subject, Nigerians in Diaspora, on the edition of The Ambassadors today. So I'd like you to journey with me closely, as I have with me on the program a former ambassador, Nigerian ambassador, of course, to Benin Republic, and of course a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. He's by name Ambassador Lawrence Olafemi Obishakin. Good to have you with us, sir.
Thank you very much, Mike, for inviting me. I'm very grateful.
Glory to God. We appreciate you, and we thank you for all that you have left yourself unto God to use of you, because we see that even for the fact that you are a career ambassador, you are also an ambassador of Christ. You have served many years in Benin Republic, serving the church, serving God, and done so great in the ministry in Benin Republic to the glory of God. And now you are back in Nigeria, also still furthering the work of the gospel. We thank you and we appreciate you. Many grace, sir, and more options.
We give all the glory to God.
Hallelujah.
It's already a big grace to be a pastor.
Okay.
It's a great grace to be an ambassador of Nigeria, a career one, out of about 124 million if you are chosen.
Yeah.
Because it was strictly on quota basis.
Okay.
Ambassadors are chosen on quota basis. During my time, in the days of 19 states, when we joined the service in 1981, only 3 of us were chosen for every state. It was then Oyo State, because my state, Osun, was under Oyo when we joined the service.
Okay.
We're all Oyo people. I was telling the younger ones. So it's a big grace to be chosen. The competition was very stiff. It was strictly by merit. You did exam upon exams. So we thank God. And it's a greater grace to now become ambassador. Not everybody makes it to be ambassador. But we thank God that we're able to make it.
So I'd like you to walk us through the journey or the career as an ambassador, because you have just said right now that there are some people like you who are career ambassadors, and there are some that are ambassadors by appointment.
Political appointees,
appointment. So what is the difference, and can anyone decide to say, I want to be a career ambassador?
Yes, you can. We give God the glory. The word career is from Latin, actually. Carrière in French, carriera in Latin. It means the course, the pathway in life that you've chosen. It's a profession. If you say I'm a career ambassador, it means I was trained. Okay. There is an academy, there's a Foreign Service Academy of Nigeria, which you must do. We joined in 1981, and we did 2 years, and then the third year you go to the Foreign Service Academy. You know that you have the potential. After you've done the interview and everything, in those days they interviewed us in the university. We were in university, and while you go for the national service, they will investigate and check your father's place, your mother, if you have a wife, everything was checked. You know, your profile. And then you join the service. It's part of the public service, but the Nigerian Foreign Service is a little bit peculiar because we have our own, out of the then general orders, which is the civil service rules, we have an appendix, which is the foreign service rules, you know. And then we did the exam. We also have 2 exams that we do special. With the police, the Constitution of Nigeria was compulsory for us.
Okay, to
after
study.
the civil service rules and the financial regulations that everybody does, you also have to do the Constitution of Nigeria because you're going to represent Nigeria abroad. You're going to be the Nigerian president abroad. You must know what not to do. And then we have to do law, some aspect of law. Okay. You have to do the tort law, succession, something about family law, something like that. You must have an idea of it. So if you do that, then you begin your career. You work in the homes, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We are not sent to other. Okay. That's another thing peculiar about Nigerian Foreign Service. Nigerian Foreign Service officers are not sent to other home ministries. So if you are working in the Ministry of Interior, they can send you to the Ministry of Agric. They don't do that with Foreign Service because we are peculiar a little bit. We deal with foreign. There. You know, one of my most admired, statesman now I served under him for a few months, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, who is a professor of international relations. Yes. So, what people must know that the foreign service is different. You know, there may be jealousy, there may be anything, but this is the agency of the government that has the exclusive, jurisdiction to serve outside the country. Okay. So all these people going about and they don't have the jurisdiction. We have other, what we call attaches. People can come from immigration, also because we do immigrate by the grace of God.
To work under you.
To work, yes. The ambassador is the lead, is the head, is the principal representative of his country. So you work there, and then after you've trained, you have passed, you're a career diplomat of Nigeria now, then they can post you abroad. I was first posted to Switzerland in 1983. I also, after I served, you come back. Okay. I work in admin department, work in language bureau because I was a language man. So from that, we can
how many languages can you speak?
Well, we thank God. I speak quite a few. At least I can interpret into 6. But I think I have an idea of. I've learned 15 languages in my life. Wow. But to God be the glory. And then I went to Switzerland. I came back. The second posting took me to Brazil. I speak Portuguese. I think that influenced them. Okay. Brazil is a Portuguese-speaking country, very close to Nigeria. You see how people speaking Yoruba in Bahia part. You have the Alakijas there. They still answer the name. Yes. Now, just like you have the Pedros here, you have Medeiros here. So you have Da Cunha. When you hear Da Silva, it means the man from the bush. Da Rocha, the man from the rock, which is a Beguta area. So these are things that you need to know, And you have a lot of Portuguese words in our English, even here. Yes, you know, a lot of Portuguese words that we use, like basia, which is basin.
Yeah,
In
basin.
Yoruba is basia, you know.
So
And
basia is
ijo,
a
brasso, is the arm. They're still there. The influence of veranda, you know, influence of Brazilian Portuguese. We have a lot of it. So we served there in Brazil. It was very interesting to me, you know, having to read people. It was there I learned the Yoruba word for fork, igunje. They still have it. So, you know, akara. The full name of akara is akara je. What you count it because they use a cowrie and you have to count maybe 40 for a farthing. So kara je, you count it, you pay for it, and then you eat it. That's, you know, you have a lot of today. The world is interrelated. That's one of the benefit advantages that as a diplomat you are exposed.
And that should even be the beauty of us.
We served in Israel. We served in United Nations, in New York. We served in Benin, also the other countries. In Brazil, it was concurrently accredited to Bolivia. Okay. And La Paz is the highest capital in the world, where the oxygen is 40% less. You have to train to go there. As soon as you get to La Paz, your eyes will be red because you are dealing with 40% less oxygen. If you are asthmatic, you are not advised to go. And then we are served coca leaf. That's cocaine. It's like cola nut there. So all these things, we know them.
Cocaine there.
Yes. Coca leaf. When you get into the aircraft and you want to land, they put coca leaf, give it to you, put it as what you drink so that you can have energy. Because you are talking of, you drop and die. You are dealing with 60% oxygen. And that's why Brazil they defeated Brazil 4-0. Yes, because it's like going to Ethiopia too. There are some places that's risk. You know, if you don't know what it is, you may get into trouble.
And that's very important to what we are discussing today. Yeah. Nigerians in diaspora. Right. So many people need to know a whole lot. That you have the passion and the wherewithal to travel or to leave your country for another country for a legitimate reason or reasons, it's not enough. Mm-hmm. You need to get the education, the knowledge,
very important.
Yeah, of the country you are going into. So what does it mean to be in diaspora? What is the meaning of diaspora?
Diaspora is a Greek word of Greek origin. It's like, when you say there in Greek, it's like this in Latin, disperse. It's so people, they think diaspora, people that are thrown out, they moved out, they are dispersed. The people, the dispersed people. When you talk of diaspora, it's a group of nationals like Nigerians that are outside the territory of Nigeria. So they are Nigerians in diaspora. Of course, there are categories. There are people who have left their country years ago, centuries, like Nigerians now, who have been in Brazil. 1888 was the end of slave trade in Brazil. The Portuguese were the last to release, to let go of slave trade.
Slave trade.
Yes, you know. So you know what people like Wilberforce, you know, how Ajayi Crowther became the slave boarder, became a bishop. You know, the English were the first to say no. There will not be, of course, you know, it has to do with industrialization and that sort of thing. So now, Nigerians have been in diaspora in Brazil for years. You go to Bahia, you hear Yoruba being spoken there. I told you what we got there. And most of the Mingao Lagosians, you know, because most of them were there, Brazilian quarters in Lagos. There's a Brazilian quarter in Lagos. And when you see the Brazilian architecture and you go to Bahia, you see exactly the same thing. The way they dress, you know, of course, a lot of influence on the religion, the Orishas, you know, they are there. But now when you talk of diaspora, it should be our strength. People go out for different reasons. Yeah. Now the youth in the ancient period, some were going to Mecca. That's why you have many Nigerians who miss their way or where to come in. They used to trek to Mecca. In Sudan, you have millions of them of Nigerian origin. Ethiopia, some miss their way and they are there. Or they decided to stay back, get married, and settle there. You know, you have them. Like one time, it might be interesting. You know, the Ife speakers are in Togo, in the same latitude with Ile Ife. They must have been hunters that hunted Instead of returning eastward, they were going westward. And they served two in a place called Atapami. And when I met them, they said, well, they speak Ife. They said, that's their language. They, not Yoruba. They said, that's what they speak. You Google, you find a lot of... So people go out for different reasons. But we must be very careful because you must be subject to the law of the territory. Because in international law, every country has its own right over its territory. So
all right.
you must know why you are going there, and you must obey the rules, the laws of the land, and also be careful because it's not your country. You may decide to naturalize if your country allows or the rules allow that, but you must know that once you're outside, you're under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Embassy of Nigeria. If it's an English-speaking country, it's called a High Commission of Nigeria, and you are supposed to go and register your presence immediately. The first thing, it used to be behind our passport, that whenever you go abroad, go and register. Like, look at what's happening in Sudan now. If you don't have your record, how shall we be able to pick you? You see, we will not be able to take
And I think that happened to be one of the major challenges to the Diaspora Commission as they were trying to evacuate some of the stranded Nigerian students. Many of them were not properly documented and all that. Now, so many to talk about. We have just did a kind of introduction. So many to talk about. But let's pick them as time will permit us bit by bit.
Okay.
Now, first and foremost, if anybody is, leaving Nigeria for another country, what should be the right process? Getting into another country, what should be the right process? Because we have many who left with the passion of, oh, Nigeria is bad, I just want to go out. And as they step out, many of them step into danger. So what is the right process for them to step in out so that they can be safe wherever they step into?
Thank you for this opportunity. As a diplomat, you are trained to take care of Nigerians abroad, as I said. When you want to leave a country, you must first of all do what they call investigation or information gathering. Know where you are going. For example, if you are going to Bolivia, where is the highest, where you have Lake Titicaca, the lake that is frozen as a result of the altitude. So where are you going? What do they have there? People are saying Nigeria is bad, but it's not as bad when you look at it, that this is where God put us, and that, opportunities still abound here. Yeah. Some people are still making it. Very soon, the biggest petroleum refinery, one of the biggest, will be opened in Nigeria. So Dangote is making it. Some other people. So why won't you believe God is going to make everybody to survive well in Nigeria? Now find out where you are going. Then what do you require? Do you need visa? Because not everywhere is visa free to Nigeria. Okay. So and then you have to go and find out from Nigerian embassy there. But before you go, here in Nigeria, go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They will tell you whether we have an embassy there. We don't have embassies all over the world. Okay. People are saying they must reduce embassies. Now, Nigeria should be effectively represented. It's a big country. Nigeria is a major country in Africa. It's a regional power. So we must be present. You have to pay. Like Professor Bolaji Akinyemi said, the foreign service cannot be run on a shoestring budget. You are going out. You are not going to spend naira there. And you have to be careful because you are going to represent your country. You must be a real representative of your country. It costs money to go and visit people. Look, as a pastor, it costs you money. You go and visit people. Some people are sick. You take care. There's consular responsibility. One of the 5 duties of a diplomat is also consular responsibility, taking care the welfare of the people. You didn't send them there, but then they are your citizens.
Now that they are there, they belong to you.
Because they are your image. Actually, according to Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961, which is like the Bible of diplomats, it tells you the duties of a diplomat. It defines the duties and what the privileges, rights and privileges, immunities. You cannot arrest a diplomat, for example. You can only
in that country.
In that country, because it's represented, it's like the king of that country. But then that's why we ambassadors don't misbehave. We are sent. That's the difference between you are a carrier and non-carriers. You are told you are representing your country. When they see you, they see the image of Nigeria. You are the image maker. You don't make noise. You don't You don't do things, you know, because you are flying the flag of your country. You know, as an ambassador, you fly the flag of your country. You are like the president of your country there, because you are giving the letters of credence to whom it may concern. This is to certify that Lawrence Olufemi Obishagi is the person I have confidence in, and I'm sending him as ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary to the Republic of Benin. Therefore, whatever he tells you concerning the welfare of my country, please give him credence. That's why they call it letter of credence. Believe him. But you must be trained. You can't just be saying whatsoever. You don't speak against your country, of course. That's the last thing you would do as a diplomat. So you must investigate first and know. So that you don't say you japa, you go and fall in from frying pan to fire. So these are the things you must find out where you are going. You know, all over the world, anybody, anything you want to do, you must find out first and foremost.
Okay.
What am I going into? What are the opportunities? Of course, there are people often now, they are looking for Nigerians in some countries, looking for them because of their qualification. If you are qualified, people will ask for you. Every time you get letters from the US, they want to use you. This is why you do this, do that. You know about this. They need you. They need doctors. They need nurses. They need.
So, in terms of documentation, as soon as they arrived at that country, they locate the embassy.
Documentation starts from your country, because you have to get visa. Okay. And visa means seen. You are good to go. That's the meaning of visa. You have been seen. Actually, in the old visa, we used to put seen at Nigerians also embassy. They put it there at Seme border, seen. That's what it is. That visa means seen. Visum, videre, to see, video, I see.
Okay.
Yes, Latin word. Now, when you get your documentation, they will tell you what they need. Some will require that you have medical test. Look at the times of COVID.
Yeah.
72 hours, 24 hours.
Like when you are traveling around the ECOWAS country here, they request a yellow card.
Yeah, of course. All over the world. So you do all those ones. The medical aspect of it. There's a consular aspect of it. There's a immigration aspect of it. What you must have. Some require that you must have money. In those days, BTA, basic travel allowance, you must have it. Carry it with you. You know, some people say you must have $500 before you go. Of course, you know, in those days, Nigerian naira was more powerful. I used to joke with I said, look, I bought my first car, 4,025 naira. It was a brand new car.
4,025
naira. L82190CL. Brand new Volkswagen. Was assembled in Badagry. You see? Wow. And to travel to abroad was 500 naira. Return ticket. And this not too long ago. Not too long ago, 1981, the university 275, people were traveling. That's how it is. The naira has lost much of its value, which impacts on us, on our value too.
Yeah.
So these are the things. And when you get there, you have to, right from the airport, they will tell you what to do right there. You know, when they stamp your visa that you're okay, good to go. They are going to clerk you. They're going to write, where are you going to stay? Where you must have stated that before they will collect. Like in America, the minute everything is computerized, they are checking. You say you are going to New Jersey, and now who are you going to meet there? You know, you have said everything on your visa form. You know, online, you visa America.
It's not like you just get there and roam in the streets.
No, because every embassy, every diplomat want to show as a visa. I was visa officer since 1983 when I was a visa officer in charge of Switzerland. That time they were building Noga Hilton. Noga was a man from Switzerland. They were building the Hilton, the biggest hotel in those in Abuja. So we're giving them visa. You check. There are different categories of visa. There's just one way single visa. Okay. There's multiple entry visa. You can go as many times. But you also have special visa. That's for you to enable you to work. Yeah, that has a different regime, you know. And some people are not allowed to have visa. In those days, anybody with South African visa was not allowed to enter Nigeria because we were anti-apartheid warrior leader in those days. So all those things. And when you enter the country now, you find out. They will tell you right from the airport what you have to do. Okay. Of course, somebody must either be coming to be your host who has taken what they call consular and immigration responsibilities.
Okay.
For you. Maybe your brother, your sister, or somebody, or those who are employing you, they take you and they will house you because you must be housed. That's the most important, basic requirement of any human being. You have the biological needs. You must feed, you must be housed, accommodated.
Yeah.
If that is taken care of, then the rest is simple. Then work now. We can talk of work. So security, that's very important. Because Nigerians must be very careful. We stand out where we go. I remember when I was on French scholarship in 1978, I went as a French scholar to Grenoble in those days. And for the first time, I realized I was a black man.
Wow.
It's not obvious here. When you go to a place where your head is the only one that is black, everybody is blonde. You are the only one with black skin. Even though some students were black, but I just look at myself and say, my God, I was young, we were just a part of compulsory course. When you are doing French in University of Louisiana, you must spend 1 year abroad.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see, you have to know that there's psychological, impact of staying abroad on human beings. Because we are social animals. We are supposed to live together, especially Africans. We used to live in compound, your father, your mother, your children, your grandfather, great-grandfather, some of them are even staying there. But for the first time, you're on your own.
You can relate across board in your
but
compound.
This time around,
over there, like...
Europe.
Oh, ye to your tent. Oh, to your tent. Oh, ye Israel.
There's the nuclear family. Your father, mother, and the children. But now, in Africa, no. We have aunties, we have brothers, we have sisters, you have great-grandfather, you have your uncle, the sister of your brother, of your in-law, and all sorts of people. But then...
Now, let us now look at what is then will be the responsibility of the Nigerians or citizens in diaspora to their home country. And what is expected of the home country on those who are in diaspora?
Okay. Well, thank God you said so. We are all responsible as a citizen of Nigeria. Common civics, a good citizen.
Yes.
It has a responsibility to maintain the peace. Has a responsibility to pay its tax. To do this same thing. When you go abroad, you have responsibility that you owe the society, the community. You cannot misbehave.
Okay.
In some countries, you can't make noise. There are some countries, even close to us here, you are not allowed to use microphone in the church. There's a law now in Benin Republic. You cannot use microphone from 1 p.m. To 3 p.m. The same people are observing siesta. They call it noise pollution. And that by 10 p.m., whatever you are doing, Holy Ghost service, you must end. If you make noise at 10 p.m., they will arrest you.
Wow.
So, you see, you must obey their law. So, you do your Holy Ghost service, end 9:30 p.m. and go home. So, otherwise, you get arrested. Now, you must know. That's why the idea of language, too. You must know if you don't understand the language. I remember when we got to Israel, we had to learn. I told my wife, we have to learn this language, if only to know the difference between sugar and salt. Because they are packed the same way, but it's only when you see melach, they say, oh, this is salt. This is sugar, this is sugar. Otherwise, if you don't know how to read it, you can't read Arabic in Arab country, you might be driving the wrong direction and you might get yourself killed. So you hold that responsibility. Language is very important.
You must learn their language.
Learn their language, at least be able to express yourself. I'm not a robber, I'm not a thief, I'm a Nigerian, and this is where I work.
At least
basic conversations. Yes, we know that. So that's also a very survival kit. I'm giving them free now of charge. You must know how to, and you know how to relate to the people. What's the responsibility of a policeman? I was in France 78 for the French college. When I got to Paris, and I asked the policeman where I was going, he saluted me. Wow. The policeman saluted me. I said, yes, because you are a citizen. We are paid by you. See, I was impressed. I saw the taxis, Citroën, Mercedes-Benz. So myself, my friend, two of us were the scholars from the University of Ife. There were only 9 Nigerian universities. So only the best 3 were taken. So we were the best 2 from the University of Ife. So we got to Paris. And we said, take a taxi. I want to go to the station, Les Invalides, so that we can board the train to take us to Grenoble, which is, with the fastest train in those days, TGV. So I got there. I saw Citroën. Citroën is a big car. The next one came up. It was Mercedes. I ran away. I said, okay. So Ostadima, my friend, he said, what are you going to do now? Yeah, these are all big cars. It will be too expensive. So, and we spoke. We could speak French, so we spoke to him. He said, no, it's the same price.
Same price.
Anything is the same price. So we took the best. We're there. So why am I telling this story? For you to know what is the rule of the ground. Because you have left your country, you have responsibility. And then the embassy of Nigeria, who has one of its 5 duties, that of taking care of the interest of Nigeria. And number one, the foremost of our 5 duties...
Hold on, we are due for a break.
Okay.
So, because where you are getting into now, I will need us to pay very good attention to that part. So viewers, we are going on a short break. When we come back, we will continue on this particular subject we are looking at, Nigerians in diaspora. We shall be back. Stay tuned. Watch The Ambassadors on Dove Television as we take you through the rudiments and fundamentals of politics and good governance, and how you can be involved. The Ambassadors is showing every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Nigerian time. Welcome back. It is still The Ambassadors on Dove Television, and the Ambassador Lawrence Obishaki is still here with me. A former Nigerian ambassador to Benin Republic is here with me, and we are looking at Nigerians in diaspora. Now, I asked earlier what is expected of a diasporan, someone in diaspora, and what is expected of the country, the home country of such, individual. For example, a Nigerian who is in diaspora, what is expected of a Nigerian, government upon, her diaspora. So that is what we are looking at. And we're about to mention what is expected of a Nigerian embassy at a particular country of residence. So I'd like you to go on that, sir.
Yes. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs controls the foreign affairs of the country. The Commonwealth or the international relations. We have 2 basic. You have the bilateral relations, that relation between Nigeria and one country, like Nigeria and Benin, Nigeria and China. But we also have multilateral relations. When you go to the biggest of organizations, is the United Nations, comprising almost all the countries, the only 1 or 2 that's not a member. So that's another way of relating. But the bilateral relations, when a Nigerian diplomat goes out, he has 5 basic duties that he must perform when he goes out. According to Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961 and Vienna Convention on Consular Matters of 1963, number 1, he is a representative of his country. So he gets information and seeks information about where we are.
Yes.
Like in Benin, you want to know how many universities, which ones are recognized, which ones. So it was my responsibility to tell Nigerians, don't go to this university. It's not recognized.
You have the responsibility to tell the Nigerians who are seeking for education.
Education. Anything. Health. I am their father. That's the difference. Well, for example, when I heard that I saw that Nigerians were being rounded up. They go to church on Sunday. They saw the plaque, the registration number of Nigeria. Say, come, on a bushfire, you don't move. Give me 20,000 naira. So I went to President Boniyayi. I was Nigerian ambassador. And thank God we have good relations. Look, we are friends. Nigeria and Benin, we speak 6 languages. Look, we speak in Benin from the south to north. Nigeria and Benin Republic, we speak Yoruba. We speak Igbo. We speak Bariba, we speak Batonu or Borgu, we speak Hausa and Fulani.
Wow.
So we went there, said, sir, this is what's happening. He said, yes, my brother, we have to stop it. On February 2013, he summoned all the leadership of Benin. The chief of army staff, chief of air staff, even forest, everybody, and made a pronouncement, which very few head of state will make. He said, if we are eating today, it's by the grace of Nigeria. Yes, it's on record. Wow. And he said, whatever honor you will give to the citizens of the United States of America in Benin. Whatever honor you will give to citizens of France, which is their colonial master, you must give to Nigerians. From that day, and I did, as a well-bred Nigerian, I studied the situation. I know that why were they having problems? We don't speak some of them don't speak the language. We don't have ID card. You know the Francophone countries have a common ID card. Yeah. If you show your ID card in Niger Republic, they were one French Francophone, French West Africa, that extended from Dakar, about 5.5 hours flight from here, to Central African Republic there. So they issue the same ID card. They have your telephone anywhere. You can take the ID, for example, can you take your ID card, Nigerian ID card, to Ghana and they will know your address? No. But Francophone is like that. It's not like that. They have a common thing. So by the grace of God, Holy Spirit give me wisdom. We issued our own ID card with the database available to them. For the first time, during my time as ambassador of Nigeria, Nigerian could open bank account with the Nigerian ID card, consular ID card. By the grace of God. Check. We did it. And people go move, they go do things. Of course, business increased from 6 business to about 30 business concerned between the two countries. Why am I telling you this? Is as a Nigerian ambassador, as a Nigerian diplomat, one, you must represent your country. If anything is happening, they can ask you what is happening in your country. That's why we must brief them. That's why we have a website, a very active website. That's it. Number 2, you must protect the interests of your country. And number 1 interest is the people. It's not only the diaspora community, it's a statutory responsibility of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to take care through the embassies or High Commission of Nigeria of Nigerian interests. And number 1 interest of Nigeria is the Nigerians. That's why the pastoral aspect of diplomacy. You are a father to them. You are a mother to them. Also, you are to seek information by all legal means and inform your country. You have to promote culture. I told you I have one of the reasons why I won that election in the UN is that I'm always in Agbada with full, even in winter. I kitted myself well. The Africans said, this is our representative. Anywhere they see him in New York, he looks like us. And when I was ambassador of Nigeria by the grace of God to Benin, they declared me the best dressed ambassador. Go and check in Benin. Because I was always in Nigerian dress, complete. Of course, we are paid. The Nigerian diplomats usually give me what we call clothing allowance. You were paid to dress well? Yes, every 3 years. During my time, you are paid, including your wife and your children. That's it. There's no need for jealousy. We are doing it. The home countries don't do that for Nigeria abroad. And we attract. And another thing, to promote business. By the grace of God, during my time, I was able to negotiate for Dangote to be able to visit what he bought. And during my time, we negotiated 1 year, we did it 2013. By the grace of God, it was during my time that Dangote was able to ferry his cement to Benin, to Togo, and to Ghana. Go and check. He was very grateful, and it's written during one of my things. So, Nigerian diplomats are trying their best, but they don't have money. That's the truth. They don't have adequate money. And most of the people in the country are not helping. They say, oh, these people are spending dollars. Do you go to China and be spending naira? Ask them. You go to the United States and be spending naira? When I was a consular officer in Switzerland, they arrested Nigerians who carried cocaine in Zurich. Zurich is 1 hour. In winter, you don't go Switzerland, you have minus 43 degrees Celsius. Wow. That's why I got married. I know what it is. Your tire must have chain. But you kill yourself on the way. They married a Nigerian from River State, I remember. All these people were oil something. And then God there was messing up, the woman calling her all sorts of names. So I took off. As a Nigerian ambassador, I went to the mayor. They called the assembly, because some part of Switzerland still manage like a ballet, all these traditional things. They vote by raising hands, like a pencil. Women couldn't vote. They are only men, head of family, will vote. So I went there. But I stayed there from morning to evening. By the end of the evening, they apologized and they decided they will pay compensation for this lady because you married her, And then you got to your country now, your people don't want to accept her. You didn't know that she was black when you married her in Port Harcourt? You see? These are the things, our responsibilities. It's a fatherly care too, it's a motherly care, but it's very risky too. Very risky. You must know this.
Yeah.
We had to fly on behalf of Nigeria on aircraft that has no radar. We had to do many things. There's also the intelligence service, part of this thing. You must know what's going on by legitimate means.
So should any Nigerian in diaspora, get into trouble or probably is impoverished or not having a job or having a shelter, can easily run to the embassy to seek support?
Yes and no, because number one, how many will the embassy? I just told you now, the idea of, we used to have what they call consular funds. This was removed in 1983 by the then military side with the government.
Okay.
We used to have it, so what we were doing, for example, let me tell you something not very funny. It was in Benin Republic, I was ambassador. They just dumped a woman in front of the embassy. We just saw the woman, the security called me.
A dead body or?
No, not dead, half dead. It's a Nigerian. How do you know she's a Nigerian in the first instance? We have to prove that. So what we do now, we raise funds among ourselves, but what we best do now is that the Nigerian community, we are in community. You find out, oh, this is a Shekiri woman. So you go to the Delta State community. Then the Shekiri will say, this is part of us. Some may even take us home. We arrange. Some people took care of her. We took care of her before we sent her back home. So there are ways of dealing with it. The embassy will not say no to you, but the embassy is only limited. If they fund the Nigerian embassy, we are very good at helping, the embassy now, at promoting investment.
But there is this they call the Diaspora Commission fund, the fund or tax.
The Diaspora Commission is an internal thing here. We have to be very careful. It's an internal arrangement of Nigeria. The Diaspora Commission cannot go to Ghana and say they are taking care of Nigeria. No, there must be a special arrangement. It's only the Nigerian High Commission that has the statutory right to represent Nigeria outside Nigeria.
Outside Nigeria.
The Diaspora Commission, yes, I became very honorable. We know her. She's very hardworking. She's doing her best. But there is a limit to what she can do. She also say with the Nigerian embassy. Because she can't take over the job, statutory job, or the constitution is there. It's on the Nigerian constitution. Minister of Foreign Affairs is a statutory authority.
But certainly a constitution must have established the commission.
Well, the executive has a right to operate in whatever agency it wants. We have the ministries and other agencies, MDA.
Yes.
Departments and MDAs. Yes, they are part of the MDA. But when it comes to working outside this country, the authority in charge of taking care of Nigerian interests is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, working through its embassies in non-English-speaking countries, but in Commonwealth. In Commonwealth countries, they are called High Commissions. Because we are so close that they call them High, is a High Commissioner and a Commissioner, but because we belong to the same Commonwealth. So we have to be very careful. There must not be rivalry. When it comes to his Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that will be speaking on behalf of the president. The president is number one. And a president once said, look, I was personal interpreter to the president of Nigeria for 4 years and the director of protocol. So he says, I am my own foreign minister. Yes. Like the minister for petroleum, it's also the President Buhari. He's only minister of state that he has. Yes, the president is the one that will, anybody that's, if the president elects he will be in charge. Yes, he is in charge of the country. Yeah. You elected him to take care of you, including your forest. And more importantly, there's another point I must say, there are only 2 agencies that states don't have. 2 ministries. There is no Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Lagos State or of Osun State. It's only federal.
Only federal, yeah.
That's one thing that's peculiar about our career.
States don't have foreign ministries. Okay.
And the army.
Okay.
Actually, when I was younger, the armed forces and foreign affairs, we had 2 things again in common. We go to the same hospital. Okay. We're giving military card hospital. That's where we go. My children, some of them were born there, Creek Hospital, also St. Luke's in Yaba. And also, you find out that our tax is the same. So you must know this, that it's only federal that operates Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Now, let's go a little into economics and politics. within the limits of time.
Yeah.
Now, the diasporans, people in diaspora, especially Nigerians, we have many of them. Many of Nigerians, even for the fact that there are news that some of them are not doing well, but there are so many that are doing very well, very well. So how do we leverage on the prospects and the prosperity of Nigerians in diaspora to better the lots of the home country, Nigeria, in this instance?
Let me be a little bit lighter. You use the lever. If you want to leverage, you must press the lever. Then you leverage. You leverage on it. Now,
okay, how do we pull the lever?
I have it here that diaspora remittances is the highest source of foreign exchange to Nigeria and contribute more to Nigeria's GDP, gross domestic product, than oil, and more than 11 times the total sum of foreign direct investment into the country by 6th October 2022. This is from businessday.ng. You see, how do we leverage? We have to, first of all, know who they are. We have to know where they are.
Yes.
I'm a stickler for that. You must investigate. The Nigerians are doing very well in many parts of the world. The only thing is that we need to also promote our own. Somebody says if you don't blow your trumpet, somebody else will take it and will blow it.
Blow it for you.
So the thing is that we have Nigerians that are doing very well. You know that in the United States, about 4 years ago, Nigerians were grouped among the best intellectuals, the ones that have contributed most. So I will give you 2 examples. Nigeria were now ranked with the Jews, Iranians, in terms of education performance.
Ranked with the Jews?
Yes, Nigerians have been ranked with them in terms of success. Because we have 99.9% success rate. I remember when I was serving between 2011 and 2000, I'm sure the Pastor Fadel will be able to corroborate this. The authorities approached the Redeemed Christian Church of God to please help to teach them how we had success. So our children were successful. So successful. Anybody went to university, came out of university. Whereas the success rate of the African American, the blacks, was so low. But ours was so high. So we have these things. Nigerians are doing very well in some countries. Look at that Dangote now. He has industries all over. Tanzania, he has. So, but we have Nigerians that are doing in fashion, Nollywood, because, there are about 12 categories of diplomacy. There's football diplomacy. Look at Osimhen.
Yes.
I saw the president-elect was congratulating him. Because he wants to leverage on that. Something like a joke. In Benin today, the best industry, the best agricultural, farm is called Songhai.
Songhai, yes.
When I got there, I looked at it, I saw that it's a Nigerian behind it. Even though it's an American Nigerian. So they said I was going to open something. I put on my agbada quickly. I called him. We became the best of friends. Many people, Bayelsa State, they brought about 1,000. They have problems. I went to help them resolve their problem and everything. I leverage on that. It's a Nigerian, it's a success. It has been declared the United Nations Center for Excellence, or Greek, where everything is natural. No artificial thing. Even the droppings of animals and human beings are used as gas to cook.
Power the place.
To power the place too. So you associate yourself with success. Nothing succeeds like success. And nothing is as remorseless, merciless as failure. Who wants to associate with failure? Except you are calling on the grace of God.
So what do you say about diaspora voting? That is the political side I want us to time in.
Every Nigerian has a right to vote, but the truth is that we must be prepared for it. Already voting here, you know what it is. So diaspora is a very good idea. People are doing it. They even use some of our embassies, there's African countries that vote. Abroad.
So when are we going to get it right in Nigeria? What is the challenge?
As soon as you have the political will, as soon as we have, let me tell you something, as soon as we have confidence in ourselves, as soon as we don't suspect ourselves, I wrote a book, I'm not making publicity now. When I saw the vision, that was 1998, when Daddy Joe said we should fast for 3 days for Nigeria, 1998, I remember August. I see, one of the challenges we have today is the grudge that ethnic groups have against each other. And until we resolve this, I'm speaking spiritually now, until we resolve this, it's very difficult to move forward.
Do you believe in secession? Or that probably to get it right.
Because
the issue now is the Easterners, the Igbo now, the Southeast now, they're about to be skimmed out of the leadership of the 10th Assembly that they are even looking out for.
Who told you that? It depends on the way you are looking at it.
Well, look, because they just came up, the senators now from the Southeast just came up with a communique right now. That with the look of things, with what they are seeing, it's as if they're about to be skimmed out of the calculation.
Nobody can skim anybody out. The fact is that they exist and they have their mind. Let me tell you, it's a political decision. The APC, the PDP, the Labour Party, SDP, and all the other parties, they have their representatives. They will elect their leaders. You see, water will always find its own level. In politics, you see, politics is the art of seeking power through parties.
Okay.
You capture power. So, nobody, all of them, all politicians are brothers. I wish Christians, Muslims will be more brotherly than politicians. We must learn this. In the end, you will see that people will be smiling.
So they are more brotherly.
They are closer. So can't we? Because the truth is that they are looking for power. What they tell you here will be different from what they tell you there. And I'm neutral now as at now. I'm very neutral. And we are supposed to be apolitical.
Yeah.
As a Nigerian diplomat. I'm a career diplomat for life. I'm a career diplomat. So you can rely on what I tell you. Nigeria is better than what people are saying. Nigerians are suffering. They are complaining. There's no doubt about it. But I believe the new regime will do well to learn from past errors. There's no doubt that there are errors. There are mistakes. We are pastors. We hear people. We are also part of it. For example, how do you pay people salaries that cannot take them home? You are a director, you earn so little that you cannot even, your salary, your pension cannot take you for 4 days. That's not the truth. How do we? And you have people that have only served, you served for 35 years, you risked your life, and you are paid something that will not last you 2 weeks.
To even get it, you have to kill and kill.
And then, so what are you talking? We will thank God in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are better organized. The day you stop, because we know when you are going to, we are very organized, I must tell you. We're very organized. I didn't have to suffer for my pension. Only we are complaining that it is not a living pension. That's what we are talking about.
Well, we hope to see what the incoming administration will do. Yeah. He has said that it's not going to be paying minimum wage, but living wage.
That's good.
So let's see how that turns out.
We pray for him and we pray for all our leaders. But please, let nobody secede. If anybody wants to go, there's a statutory, there's a constitutional way that people can go. People have done it without war. So there's no doubt. Self-determination is allowed. It's in the UN Charter. You're allowed. So I think chapter 5 or chapter 4 is there. You can say you want to go, but you must go freely and agree. Tell them. It's just a pity that Nigeria doesn't have in the constitution like Ethiopia. There's a secession clause that if you say you are tired, you don't want to do anymore, you can meet and say, we want to go. The Southwest can say, yes, we want our Oduduwa Republic, so you go there and invoke that in constitution where you don't want it. The Southeast can say, we want a new Biafra. The North can say, we want Arewa Republic, but it's not in our constitution. So unless they meet again, but now you see the ball is in the court of Nigerians. They are the ones that elect people. People deserve the kind of leadership that they elect. That's the truth. And that's why we Christians are also involved. We must be involved in this. Thank God we are learning from Redeemed Christian Church of God, from a Pentecostal one. We must be involved. We must be involved. We cannot complain if you are not there. And in Yoruba they say, Aki Faori, then you lori. Abiola used to say it. You cannot shave a man that is not there. But you know that in Latin they say, Nemo dat quod non habet. Nobody can give what he doesn't have.
Glorious. Ambassador Lawrence Olufemi Obishaki was a session of education from you, full of wisdom and insights. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you, sir. Thank you. More grace. So now you are retired as a career ambassador, though you are still an ambassador.
For life, I have the title,
life.
by the grace of God.
Okay, so
but I'm retired.
So what do you do now? What's the next thing?
Because
I know you are not. I know you may be retired, but you are not tired.
I'm working for God as a assistant national secretary in my place where I'm posted to Osun Province. But I am free to consult, to teach people about protocol. I go to teach people, to train people, and mentor people.
You've got wonderful books. You've got Protocol for Life, a lovely book that anybody who is in protocol, service can get.
Guidelines.
And even those who want to, those who are even traveling, some of them very, very, very
It became
useful.
a bestseller at the United Nations bookshop within 5 days. I was getting there.
Wow, Protocol for Life. So where can people see to buy?
What is that, the Redemption?
Okay,
CRM.
Okay.
But it's on, all of my books are on the Amazon.
Okay.
I have 20 books. They are there.
Okay. So just search for it, Protocol for Life by Lawrence Olufemi Obishaki. And this one here, Managing Interpersonal Organization and International Conflicts.
Yeah.
Wow, lovely books. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ambassador, we appreciate you.
I agree.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Sir. Thank you.
Mr. Mike.
All right, viewers, we appreciate you for your time with us. God bless you. My name is Mike Adekunle. See you next time. Bye-bye.